All right, so it is 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order tonight, March 10th, 2022. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Lisa Jack.
Here.
Saint.
Here.
Pelletier here. Puzo. Flores.
Here.
Jost. Here.
Okay. First up, I'll make a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes from February 10th, 2022. Any questions, corrections, comments?
Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes from February 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next, public comments, agenda items only. We have no public here. President's report, I would just like to take a second to just recognize Courtney, Melissa, Jess, Edmund, and Kaylin for their time and their very detailed, thoughtful, and thorough report and their work on the committee. And I think their perspective was very valuable, and they definitely did their homework. So please extend our appreciation to them. Okay, committee reports. Let's go into finance.
Okay, make a motion to approve the financial reports for February 2022.
Second. On second.
Cash statement, is everybody got that?
Yeah, I put them in all the same order. so,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Is there any questions on that? Nothing? Okay.
I don't have anything, unless anyone has any questions for me.
Check register?
5984.
Yes.
What was the do not order? That's the part that was.
I knew you.
Aggressive.
So I actually put that in there for next year on that file.
Okay.
Because this company is just caused us a little bit of trouble, so.
Oh, sure.
I think we'll find a different company. So this was for labor posters that were required by Logic Post for staff. And so we ordered some, and the company was really difficult to deal with. So we have a note in Sage, and this is what shows up. To not use them going forward because we didn't like it.
Those notes are
How long have we
valuable.
had them?
Just this year.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's actually a very small order.
Mhm.
And we can order these posters.
No, I wasn't worried about the amount, but I was just curious what that meant. So
I know it's kind of a strange place.
Yeah.
But it's a helpful place in your database.
Yeah. Well, mental notes don't work, so
Yeah.
I understand having to. Yeah.
That's not how the check went out to them. So maybe it could
A
have.
memo.
You are.
A
That's
memo.
okay.
Yeah, memo line.
Anything else? Any other? The income statement, right?
quick question. On line 8035, promotion and publicity. I think, I mean, and we always do a great job with promotion and publicity, so I'm not questioning really the amount. I'm just, when the amount budgeted, you know, we're already up to.
So most of that is one check, one of our databases.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
so, yeah, so that will be a more normal spend down from now on. So
Got
it's
it.
an annual thing. So that's why that was so high.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Nothing more?
Ready to vote? Okay, let's vote on the financial report for February. Mason Jen?
Yes.
Hussein?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Flores?
Yes.
Jost? Yes. Gonzalez?
Yes.
You?
All right, next committee, facilities. We'll touch on that under unfinished business, so we'll hold on for that. Policy, looks like the next meeting, April 7th at 4 PM. New policy committee. Good. All right, staff reports. Director Pam, anything you want to highlight or add?
I don't think so. Unless anyone has some questions about my report or any of the other manager reports. We are, we moved to masks recommended or optional here in the library. Most staff are continuing to wear their masks just for their own personal comfort level, which I have said that, you know, that's up to them. That's gone pretty smoothly. I don't see any problems with that. We're starting, as I mentioned in my report, to transition to more in-person programming with cases to drop. And so we are starting to see, you know, it's busier in the library with a combination of in-person programming and people feeling more comfortable essentially coming out. So fingers crossed we're kind of at the end. I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, so I mean, unless anyone has any specific questions. everything else.
Any other issues with that YS bathroom?
No, it's been
Drain?
fine.
Okay.
So, you know, as with all of the plumbing in the building, it's old.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we can update and renovate the exterior of things, but you know, the pipes and that kind of thing, we're kind of stuck with what we've got, unless we want to spend a lot of money, but it's been fine.
Okay.
Ed has been on vacation for the last week and a half because he had a lot of vacation time that he needed to use up, but staff has been pretty good about, you know, checking that and stuff like that. Got good on pull, really good on that, so it's been okay.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed it stays that way. We have had a few outstanding issues. We had some carpet issues downstairs, so the flooring guy came back and fixed those. We have an issue with, we call it the swim up bar, the little play counter in the picture book room. Because when the little stools are in front of it, it looks like one of the swim up bars, like when you're in a resort in Mexico or something. So it's like some of the laminate is coming off. So LFI was out, Tiffany was out the other day. They were taking pictures. The architects were taking pictures of the new space, and so we contacted LFI, and they're going to fix that for us and do some other things. And then there's with the winter weather and the heat being on in the YS activity room, the closets along the back of the room, the doors, the latches don't meet exactly, so we're have to work on that. So those are just 3 minor things that we've seen since then. But yeah, they're coming out. You know, all I had to do was email Jason, and he called me back, and we got it right away. So yeah.
And that stuff with the warranty?
Yes, it's all. We're not having to pay for any of that. So, but it's, you know, again, one of those great reasons to have gone in with SMC and stuff like that. I mean, the ability to just email them and, you know, even if that stuff hadn't been under warranty, to know that there's someone that we can trust that will steer us in the right direction when we have to get things fixed, so. But yeah, so those are just some minor things that we're dealing with. Yeah, but no issues with the plumbing.
Okay.
Knock on plastic or whatever.
Yeah.
How does facilities feel about resuming the cleaning duties?
I haven't talked to all of them. Ed and I talked about that a lot. And obviously we can talk about it some more, but I didn't have it as an agenda item. That's okay. You know, if we want to talk about it more at that point or now. It doesn't-
Yeah, we'll leave it till then. I just have
Okay.
our facilities.
Yep. Any other questions about my report?
Welcome to Stephanie in new services.
She was very excited to join the staff, so I think she's interested in library science as well, so we'll see if it's bad, but, yeah, so she's, so far been a great addition to the staff.
Always love the stats from Karina. Great. All right, so we'll move on to unfinished business. The annual walkthrough schedule.
So I know at our last meeting, I suggested doing maybe the interior walkthrough this month, but Lima's not here, and as I said, Ed is on vacation, so I still think I don't want to waste anyone's time. I mean, it's certainly up to the board how you want to do it. I know in the past, the interior walkthrough has taken about an hour, and I imagine the exterior walkthrough will probably also take about an hour, so I don't know if you want to do the interior walkthrough in April and then do the exterior walkthrough in May, or if you want to have, you know, schedule a special meeting to do the walkthroughs. So I just thought if we could get them on the calendar so that I can
Yeah.
make sure that the people that need to be here are here.
Yeah. Well, feel free to chime in. I don't think there's a reason to call a special meeting. I think we could maybe, you know, just start early or something like that. I think it's fine to do interior in April and exterior in May. I think we have better chances to not, you know,
Have better weather.
We'll hold May for weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
weather, yeah, the exterior will obviously, yeah, because if it's pouring or,
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
know,
right.
If
whatever.
it's lightning, I'm not gonna make the board.
Chicago weather. But, yeah, how does, so our next scheduled board meeting is, so that's April 14th. So if we meet at 6 PM?
That's fine. So it still has, technically, it is still a special board meeting, but that's
I just
fine.
meant-
That
I
will
just
be
meant
on a
an
separate
additional
night,
day. Yeah.
So we'll have the special board meeting to do the walkthrough at 6 PM on April 14th, and then tentatively schedule the exterior walkthrough on the hour before the May board meeting, whatever date that is.
May 12th.
What is the date?
May 12th.
May 12th, sorry, that's okay.
I'll make sure that that works for Lima too.
And do you send a calendar invite for that, or should we all put it anywhere?
I will send, because it is a meeting, even though we won't be sitting down and discussing board business, it does require an agenda and everything else, posted 2 days ahead of time, so I'll send everyone that agenda, and just like you do for this kind of stuff. But I can send you guys reminders, if that's the preference of the board. Yes, that's different.
All right, great. So then next, the youth service ceremony.
I just wanted to keep that on here. As I mentioned last month, it is April 10th, Sunday. I think it's going to start at 1:30 time. I don't, you know, obviously we're only open 4 hours that day. I don't imagine, I mean, it would be great if as many board members as possible could be there. The architects will be there, someone from SFC will be there. We're hoping to have some refreshments and that kind of thing. So, and we're hoping that we'll have the plaque. We'd like to dedicate at that point too, so. But I would imagine the ceremony itself, or all of the stuff.
What are
all
we
together.
dedicating? a room in that, in the youth service?
We'll just do like a ribbon cutting, like
Uh-huh.
across the area where you, Courtney and I were actually talking about this, how we wanted to like position people in the building. We do want to do a ribbon cutting just for some photo ops and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then we're creating a plaque for the renovation, just like that we did on the main floor for that
Okay.
renovation. So, you know, we're hoping to have that we can, you know, unveil that or whatever, so. And as per the board's preference, Eric's name is included on that plaque as well, so. So it's just that, and then
Mhm.
I may say something if one of the board, if Emily wants to say something, I don't know if the architects or the construction manager will want to say something. Jason, we were talking about it, and he jokingly said, he goes, well, I can come and, I can always talk. For those of us that got to know Jason really well when he was here, he is quite a talker, so we had a nice laugh over that. But I imagine it shouldn't be longer than an hour, if people have to come and leave and stuff. But,
Great. So that is before the next board meeting.
Yes.
So just so everyone, if you can make it, I'll plan on coming for sure. So hopefully that works for most. All right. So staff training is coming on Friday, April 29th.
So I'd like it's been a couple of years, probably longer than that. Before that, we hadn't done a staff training. I don't know, like it's been about a year before I'd done a staff training. For the new board members, we try to close 1 to 2 times a year for staff and service days. So we do some type of training, either we bring an outside speaker, or we do some internal stuff. I am asking the board to close for that entire day, because we're going to do some emergency training in the morning, because it's been a couple of years since we've done that, and now with the renovated space. And then in the afternoon, we may do, still kind of just figuring it out, either some customer service training, stress relief, or kind of walkthroughs of each department. It's always useful, especially when we've got a lot of newer staff that haven't been here. You know, we have some staff that have been here a long time, others that have not, but every so often we'll do training where we kind of go from department to department, and each department highlights what happens in that department. So I think it gives all the staff a nice overview, so they have a better understanding of everything that happens. You know, for example, I might talk about the things that happen in the director's office, which is not just me sitting there staring at my computer, those kinds of things. And you know, so that's the tentative plan for the day. We usually provide lunch for staff in the middle of the day, and it's a nice, you know, again, hopefully, in case we go down, we'll be tail end of the pandemic part of COVID, and it's always a nice opportunity for staff to get together and talk to one another, you know, especially with people outside their departments or that they don't normally see them. So I'm asking the board to close with them.
Do we vote on that?
You have to vote on it.
I'll make a motion to approve the library closing for Friday, April 29th, 2022.
Second?
Hussein?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Flores? Jost?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Messager?
Yes. All right, so library cleaning contract.
So I think I started to talk about this a little bit last month, or maybe if I didn't, my apologies. The cleaning contract, I think I did actually. The cleaning contract does, if you remember, their proposed cost for our next 3-year contract was like a 9% increase. As I believe I mentioned also, is that when we originally signed with an outside, when we originally decided to outsource our cleaning, the idea was that we would do some revamping of the maintenance staffing, and that never happened. You know, Dave left because we decided about outsourcing cleaning, but Dave was still here. You know, then Ed was here just for the year, and then it was pandemic pretty much. So we never made any staffing changes. So basically, we've been paying the same maintenance staffing level, and then the cleaning company as well. There was also some discussions about tasks, what did people do, what did maintenance staff do when they were here? Was it redoing some of the stuff that we were contracting with the cleaning company to do? And a lot of those discussions back and forth with me and Ed. So Ed was fine with it too. I think he's more worried about it than I am because he's only been here when we've had the outsourced cleaning company. But, you know, I assured him, I said, this is not anything new to Gacon Polo. This is how it was before that. And you know, we've always had the interim staff do the cleaning. So that will start on Monday. So I did hear back from Complete Cleaning. I don't think I have with you met before. So, you know, I assured them that it wasn't due to, you know, performance issues on their end. It was more a financial decision, some staffing decisions, you know, internally. That relationship is not antagonistic at all. So, I mean, if we decide in 6 months that, hey, this really isn't working, you know, we can go out to bid again because of the amount of the contract for cleaning. Even if we went out for anyone else, we would have to go out for bid for it because it usually would come in over $25,000. So yeah, I mean, I think staff should be fine. I think that maintenance staff will be fine. Gacon does a lot of cleaning already. She's not happy with the cleaning company, so she's always going around and redoing
Oh,
things
really?
anyway. So
Oh, that's hilarious.
So yeah, so it's so we feel like this is it's also a good time, I think, for us to start doing that again because we're not quite as busy as we were before. And so Ed and I are working on checklists that will, you know, lay out the responsibilities kind of daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. And then we've talked about, you know, dividing the library up into zones or like, you know, when they can, like for example, you know, when Polo is here in the evening, when he's here, he can clean the offices, for example, because there's no staff there in the offices in the evening because anyone that's here in the evening is on a public service desk. You know, Gacon is here on Saturday, so that would be a good day for her to clean admin. So those kinds of things. So we're talking about kind of breaking up some of that. Like, you know, my office, for example, doesn't need to be vacuumed every day. If it's every other week or something like that, or, you know, every 3 days, it'll probably work that. Though I'm sure it will be vacuumed every week now, but. So we're talking about, you know, ways to make that schedule make more sense, and while still getting everything done that needs to be done. So we have always supplied the cleaning products themselves, the paper products like toilet paper and paper towels. Those are things that we've always supplied. So it's not like we'll have to start buying them again because that never stopped. So I think. My hope, I shouldn't say I think, my hope is that patrons and staff will not notice a significant difference in the cleanliness of the library. So while it will then save us, the new contract was going to cost $42,000 a year. And the old one was already $36,000, something like that. So Ed and I have also talked in conjunction with that, potentially hiring another part-time person to be here on the weekends because right now, the schedule is, you know, we did used to have a weekend person that we never filled when he left a couple of years ago. And Ed is working a lot of hours. He's usually here 6 days a week. Even if it's just for an hour or so on Sundays, it's still, you know, he's very conscientious about his job. So even though I say you don't necessarily need to do that, he feels, you know, he wants to. He takes responsibility for that coming in and making sure the building is okay. So, you know, by not outsourcing that cleaning, it also gives us a little bit of wiggle room to move some of that money into staffing if we need to hire another part-time person. So he and I are talking about a number of different things related to that. But I just wanted to update you guys on that.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll go out to bid and we'll, you know, hire another cleaning company. But I think that, I don't anticipate that will be too much of a problem, but famous last words, right? So, but we have a way that we can address it if necessary, so.
Right, yeah. Thank you for the update. There was anybody else, does anybody have any questions for Pam regarding that? All right, so next, the Illinois Public Library Annual Report, which everyone should have received a copy of.
So I wanted to include this because I don't know if every year the full board sees this, and I thought it would be useful for the new board members to see. Talking about the things that I do in my office, this kind of thing. There are a number of reports like this, I should say a number, there's a few reports we are required by law to file with the state of Illinois. This is the big one. And so it just, basically it wants you to report on what happened in your last fiscal year. So the library's on a calendar fiscal year, so by law, this report is due to the state library within 60 days after the final date. So again, just mostly information about the community, the board, makeup, how we spend our money, number of programs, staffing levels, all of those kinds of things. So it's a lot, and I know the print is small, and I'm not going to go page by page with you, but I thought it's a good thing for the board to see. It's required that we file this report before we can apply for the per capita grant monies. So if you don't have an IPLAR, which stands for the Illinois Public Library Annual Report. So if you hear me talk about the IPLAR, that's what I'm talking about. But it's required that we have this on file, and then there's another interlibrary loan report that we're required to have on file as well before we can apply for the per capita grant, which is another application I have to fill out, but we don't get any of that money unless this is on file first.
Any questions on the IPLAR?
I will just say too, that it's one of those things that it can take a while to do because hopefully, right, the state libraries, while this stays fairly standard and consistent from year to year, they do change the definition sometimes of how they want you to count things.
Of course.
So the past several years, the big changes have come in how you count digital materials and how you pay for those. And it's been frustrating because a number of years ago, we made some changes to the way that we internally track expenditures based on the way that the IPLAR was set up then, and then they changed it. So we're not making any changes based on that, but I think they've finally got how they want you to count digital resources, which is fine. The big change this year was if you read through it, the programming component asked for a lot more statistical information than we have typically given them in the past, because they're trying to capture a lot of that digital programming or online programming that the libraries across the state offered during the pandemic. And I anticipate that they will continue to ask for breakdowns the way that they have this year, because as we have seen, a lot of that online programming will continue to do in some manner, right? I mean, even when we go back to we probably will never go back to only all in person again, because we have seen that there are some things that people just want to continue to be able to access online in terms of programming. So that was really a big change this year, and Courtney and Melissa did a great job of compiling that information for us. So, but like I said, hopefully this will be the same for next year, and we won't have to kind of dig for that for the information.
Well, why would they make it easy on you?
And I get why they're doing it, and they're trying to, and it takes a while sometimes to kind of fine tune what you mean, and digital resources have changed so dramatically, and the use of them has changed so dramatically over the past several years. But it also kind of calls into question, like, people say, well, what do you do with this report? And I'm like, file it with the state. And the state uses it because there's 28 states, I think it is, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but a number of states that use the same reporting for public library use across the country. So a lot of it is just looking at comparisons and stuff, and so this is what they kind of touted as, is a way for you to compare yourself to other libraries across the state, which is fine. But it is, in all honesty, not something that I typically refer back to when I look at things, unless someone, unless there's another state application or, something like that that says, pull your numbers from your IPLAR report so that they can compare across different libraries. But we did it, got it in on time, which is always the, kind of check that off on my list for things to do.
Yeah. Looks like a big check off your list,
Yeah.
so it looks like it's
It's little packets of paper, and I'm like, this does not reflect the amount
the
of
hours
work.
you spent on it. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Communications, I don't think, no?
I also included the last communication from Ms. Sander, after I had sent her, our recommendation about what we were going to do about the gender queer graphic novel, as well as Comics Plus database. So, I have not heard back from her, so I'm
And she's
assuming
not
that
contacted me either, so.
our final disposition of this item was to her. She felt, her voice has been heard, which is great, and I hope that she recognized that myself and the board and that we all took her seriously. So I just wanted to include that in the packets. And then I didn't make copies of these, so I thought they're fun to see in person. So I just wanted to pass these around. When we had make and take Valentine's Day crafts downstairs, the kids made these and brought them up to the YS desk. So Valentine's for the library. So I just wanted to pass those around for the board.
I love books. Two girls who love books. Oh, so much better.
Right. Oh, it's the hard work. You're nicer writing than my son. The hard work, oh,
Pam, has there been any update from, I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, that group that we decided to join that was getting libraries together to use resources for authors and those types of special events?
We've done a
Anything?
couple of events with them already.
Okay,
So-
which ones were those? Maybe I just realized that was part of it.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I can
Okay.
email if you
Well,
want.
what's on, like, coming up, anything, you
There,
know?
I don't. I just read the newsletter, so I'm getting confused. I'm not sure.
It's
But
in
we
the
have
newsletter
regularly
now?
been doing it. I'm sorry?
It's in the newsletter
I believe so.
for that? Okay, I'll look at it then.
Yeah, we've been regularly, taking advantage of that. It's really been fun. I'm on their email list, and so just the types of things that they're providing for us, I think has been really good. So like I said, we've done several.
I don't know, I thought they were
We've done
like
at least a few.
planning, and it would take a lot longer than just
No,
like.
it happened
up
really
and going.
quickly, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, public comments, non-agenda items, there's still no public here, so it's a nice and quick meeting. 7:32, meeting is adjourned.